Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Griffin, Chair, and I would like to welcome you to the April 11, 2024 African American Heritage Commission virtual meeting. We will now call our meeting to order. The City County African American Heritage Commission consists of 9 members. 3 of those members are appointed by Asheville City Council, 3 are appointed by the Buncombe County Board of Commissioners, and 3 are appointed by 6 appointed members. The commission is to advise the city council and county commissioners about the preservation, interpretation, and promotion of African American arts, history, and culture. All committee members and staff are participating virtually. We are streaming live on our virtual engagement hub, which is accessible through the virtual engagement hub link on the front page of the city website and also linked on the committee page. We also have an option for the public to listen live by phone by dialing 855-925-2801 and entering meeting code 9409. For those of you who plan to speak during our live public comment today, you would need to hit *3 to be put in a speaker queue. I'll go through and introduce all committee members and staff who are participating virtually. For our committee members, please make sure to mute your microphone if you're not speaking when you have a question or would like to speak. Click raise hand, and when recognized by the chair, unmute your microphone, and please remember to mute your phone after you are done speaking. Committee members, as I call your name, please say a quick hello. Aaron Griffin, I'm here. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all. Michael Hayes.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. Great to be seen. Great to see you all as well.
Shalinda Pruitt.
Hi.
Tiffany Devereaux.
Hello, everyone.
And do we have, okay, Dwayne McAfee. Okay. Staff and guests attend. There you go.
Hello.
Staff and guests attending. We have Salah Min. Excuse me, I am so sorry.
That's okay. Manaya.
Salah Manaya Merritt, Director of Equity and Inclusion, City of Asheville. We also have Leonard Jones, Community Engagement Specialist, Buncombe County. And Sandra Kilgore, City Council Liaison. No? Okay, so we're going to move on. To help our audience follow along, I'll state each section of the agenda aloud. Again, I ask the committee members to click raise hand and be recognized to speak. Please state your name each time you comment. Just remember that the public is listening on the phone, and this keeps them up to date on the order of the meeting and who is coming or speaking. First on the agenda, we have the approval of minutes for January the 11th, 2024. Action needed. If everyone had a chance to take a look at those minutes. We have? Okay, so we have the approval of the minutes.
This is Tiffany Devereaux, and I put a motion out to approve the minutes. Can I have a second?
Michael Hayes, I second the motion.
All right. Thank you. Please take it. Well, we already did that. So we're going to do roll call again. Tiffany Devereaux. I'm sorry.
Present.
Shalinda.
Present.
Michael.
Present.
Mr. Dwayne.
Present.
And Aaron. Present. All right. So we're going to move on to the number 2 of the staff. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Salamanaya Merritt, City Liaison. Do we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes? I know we had a first. We had a motion to move to approve. Michael Hayes second, but do we need to vote to approve the minutes? So it's a
Norman,
roll call vote to approve the minutes.
yes.
So the roll call vote would be you calling the names once again and they either saying yes or no.
Okay. Tiffany,
Yes, I approve.
Shalinda,
Yes, I approve.
Michael,
Yes.
Dwayne,
Yes.
and yes for Aaron. All right. So next we have staff updates.
Oh, that's me. So Salam and I am Merritt, Equity and Inclusion Director, City of Asheville. The only updates that I have is our next reparations meeting will be held in person on April 22nd. So that's Monday, April 22nd is our next Reparations Commission meeting. And that is from 6 to 8 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Leonard.
I'm Leonard Jones, County Liaison. The only update I have, the county would like this commission to know that we have an upcoming event with an African American author. It was the One Book, One Bunkum community read. It's called The Violin Conspiracy, and it's by a North Carolina-based author, Brandon Slocum. And so these books are free to the public. And the author is coming to have a discussion and a talkback that will be held on Saturday, April the 27th at 2 p.m. And this event will be taking place at the Ferguson Auditorium at AB Tech. And that's at 19 Tech Drive, Asheville, 28801. And admission is free and everyone is welcome. And so that's kind of an update on an event that we have here. The book again is called The Violin Conspiracy, and those free books can be picked up by community members from our public library. And the author will be in town on April the 27th. And that is the update I have for the county today.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Mhm.
Did you have your hand raised, Michael?
Michael Hayes speaking. I did, but Mr. Jones kind of answered the question. So, Mr. Jones, that from any public library?
Yes, let me, it do say you're local, but let me double check to make sure. Yeah, most of our public libraries should have it. Let me double check to make sure if it's not specific ones, but it just say your public library, but I will verify that.
And what's that title again, sir?
The title of the book,
Yes, sir.
it is called The Violin Conspiracy.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Yes, Ms. Debelo?
Are we able to go get the books prior to that day? So we just go up there and ask for the book and they just give it to us? Or do we have to have a recording? No.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. It's open to the public, free. Yes, books will be available. Books will be available for purchase at the event. However, there are free books at our public libraries.
That event does run in conflict with another event that I think we'll probably bring up, right, Salah? The Reparations Jamboree.
Yes, thank you for that. And that was one of the things as Leonard was speaking, I was like, I missed something. So Salam and I are married again, city liaison. There is a community engagement jamboree event taking place on April 27th. That is in Pack Square. It is from 10 to 8. Again, April 27th, that's that Saturday from 10 to 8. And thank you, Tiffany, for reminding me of that.
All right. Any more questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, that's two events that are going on that can be beneficial for the communities that we serve. Is there any way that we can, see about bringing the author to the event, setting her up with a tent? Something maybe that the African American Heritage Commission can help facilitate or sponsor, maybe?
I can bring that up. I do know the event with the county was set prior to the commission coming up with the community event on the 27th. So I don't know what contractually is required around that or any kind of pre-deposit on having it at AB Tech. But I can definitely bring it up. I do know the event with the reparations kind of came after. There's One Book, One Bunk been kind of promoted since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So, but we can always bring it up and see what some of the options are.
Because I would hate for people to miss out on these great opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
no problem.
Ms. Devereaux?
This is a great example of how do we ensure, right, that when county and or city events happen, especially impacting Black Asheville, that awareness is brought to the commission. Because I'm not sure, I might have missed it, but I don't, like, if it would have came up, then it probably would have been on our radar as we were making and creating those dates. So just for future reference, just being kind of like in sync with the events.
All right, so next on the list, I have North Carolina Supreme Court affirms Asheville's authority to remove advanced monument. So I'll keep you updated as we go, as we still meet, and I'll keep you guys updated. So that's it for unfinished business. So now it's a great time to talk about the new business. We got a fresh start and we're looking to move forward. So it'd be great if we get some ideas of like how we want to go about moving forward. At this point, we had, a lot of turnover. So we want to move forward. Yes, Mr. Hayes.
I will try not to be so long-winded. We have an opportunity to establish what the African American Heritage Commission is supposed to be about once again. I think it's imperative that we show up. I don't know if we can show up for both of these events on the 27th, but we need to show up for the 27th. We need to show up for reparations commission meetings. Southside is having a meeting. Does anybody know when the Southside commission meeting is taking place?
That would
Be Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday. Our presence needs to be known because we're still the same issue where there's pockets of people that know that we exist, but enough of the community does not know that we exist and what our role is. And I think it's imperative that we get out in the community and we show up. We let people know what our role is. We hand out what we need to hand out, but we start supporting events that are positively impacting the Black community. We had a opioid summit that took place a couple of weekends ago. It has to be ways that these conversations can continue, but because it's directly impacting, the heritage of African American communities, the future of African American communities, I think we need to get out and support things like that. I think we just need to show what we are about and be about what we say we are about.
absolutely. Ms. Devereaux?
That's a great point, Michael and Commissioner Hayes. And I'm thinking too, now is a great time. Well, first, just welcoming Salam and I Merit to this is our first meeting with you. So thank you for taking the charge and stepping in as Equity Director for the City of Asheville. This is also a great time for us to really maybe revisit our strategic goals. And if we need to redefine what that looks like, that would be great. Also looking at ways that as we do kind of like position ourselves to be more visible, to really push hard for recruitment so that we could fill some of our empty spaces that we have on this particular commission. And lastly, it would be good for us to get on the docket to just present to the Reparations Commission, maybe not for April, but looking at May, just whoever can be present, let's go to the mic and reintroduce ourselves to the commission. Although we have two commissioners here, so we have great representation, but it's good for them to see us and who we are and show up in numbers. So I would love to propose that we actually move forward with that action step as far as getting on the docket to just have a small presentation and reintroduction to the Reparations Commission for the May meeting.
So anyone else? Mr. McAfee?
So I appreciate the comments, and obviously by being a new member, I think it's more important that I listen than speak. I'm a little, as a novice, if someone had to define to me what the Heritage Committee is all about, would you be able to do that? Could someone do that, please?
Well, it's to advise, well, the way the way we have it set up, well, we had some cue cards that we all would say the same kind of thing when we go out in public. So it'll all be the same, because it could be something different to me and something different to Mr. Hayes. But as a group, we have formed some things on some cue cards to tell, the community about, what we are, what we do. And it's sort of like what we did in the introduction of this meeting, but maybe that's something that we can go back and look and try to revamp. But we have cards about the commission that we all decided that we would, when we go out into the public, that we would stick with the same speaking points.
So just from an observation, the community does not seem to be fully aware or participatory in reparations. And I could make that same comment about the Heritage Committee, correct? So if I were to go in the community and I would ask community about the Heritage Committee, would anyone be aware of the committee and what we're supposed to be trying to do?
I would say some, but not all. Is more because we were doing stuff on the radio, monthly, to engage the community. We've been the South Side community, speaking with them. We spoke with the Shiloh community, but it's still much more that we need to be doing as far as getting the word out about what we do. And,
so for me, we need to get the word out about community. And it seems like we have wonderful opportunities to get out here and everyone's saying the same thing. We don't have the community participation. A lot of that has to do with trust, systemic trust. We know all of that. Yeah. I understand it. But at the end of the day, for every day that we procrastinate, and I'm about kids, we're losing our children. We're losing our babies. So I'm deeply involved with the schools. And I was at 3 high schools today trying to save one young man, 15 years old. We have to use this committee, which is why I got on here. I want to be more impactful. I want this committee to have a larger presence, a bigger voice. And I'm hoping somehow, without really understanding the how everything is put together. I know we're supposed to be able to make proposals and have the ear of the city and the county, and that's wonderful. We also need the ear of the community, and we do not have that at all. From reparations, from what's happening with Black people in general. We are not coming together. And until we get over some of this, I just feel like we're marching in circles.
Ms. Merritt?
Thank you, Aaron. I'd like to share my screen and just share the overview of the AAHC's webpage to provide some information for you, Mr. McAfee, if that's okay.
Yeah. Put my glasses on.
So are you all able to see this?
Yes.
Okay. So the commission is to advise the city council and county commissioners about the preservation, interpretation, and promotion of African American arts, history, and culture. So my question for this commission is, what does that mean to you? And I think that is what you all need to work on and you need to determine. It's not something that has to be determined today, but maybe the next couple of meetings is where we begin to flush out what that means and what it looks like to move forward in this charge.
I think we also added to that. I'm not even sure if that's the updated version because we were getting more involved with different, especially when the reparations started. We had changed some things, so I don't. Maybe we need to bring everything to the table to look at it because it was a thing where, a lot of people just thought it was just the arts and culture and present, and not really much of anything else. And it's been so many organizations and committees that's doing arts and culture. We had decided to get, like Mr. McAfee, was saying about the schools and the students. We all, contribute to schools. That's the thing. And we know a lot of community people that's doing that. It's, like for us, it seemed like we should be able to pull all that together and to have a bigger picture of like what's going on in the community. What my daddy taught me that, what Emoja is doing, what all these other groups, there's the YTL and all of them and what they're doing and to be able to get some kind of overview about what's really happening and to be able to work with these different organizations. And, we even spoke about having some kind of, not a phone, but what is it? Some kind of book where we have all this information for folks who, that need the resources.
Resource directory.
Yes. So,
do you know what meeting that, and if you don't know, I can definitely go through the meeting minutes and revisit those to see where you all actually updated or changed what the charge of this commission is. And I'm wondering, is that something that has to go before council when you're changing the charge of a commission?
Okay. This happened right after we had a summit with Dr. Fox.
Okay.
So this was in the summer, maybe a year or two. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was in the summer of 22.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you all recall if that's something that you need to take before council or the commissioners to approve what the charge of the commission is?
And I can actually chime in here. I'm Sarah with the city clerk's office, and I'm just here running the live stream for this meeting. But yes, to change the charge or the scope of the commission, that would need to go through the city council as well as the county commissioners, keeping in mind that those are the bodies that created the commission.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Hello, Ms. Mitchell. I see you joined us. Hello.
Hi, I joined you with some difficulty, yes. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask this question while you have your attention. Should we approach the legal department to draft a resolution? And how, what is that process?
Sarah, you gonna hop in there? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I can help a little bit. The recommended course and what I've seen in the past is that the committee do a draft of recommendations, and that would go through the staff liaison and the legal department. And then for the city side, that would go through the council committee to weigh in, and then eventually to the council as well as the commissioners for that final adoption. So a great place to start to answer the question is to start with a draft of the recommendations of what a revised scope and charge for the commission would look like.
And Mr. Griffin, you and I can begin drafting that and then sharing it with the greater group if you like.
Yes, absolutely.
Feedback and to get that process started.
Okay. That's great to know. Any more questions? Ms. Debelo?
Tiffany Debelo. Another thing that I was thinking about is something that is coming up with the Reparations Commission is a Black Chamber of Commerce. And so just wondering how we could help support that effort, if that can be something that we could begin to start and take on as a commission, because that is also, it's the creation of collecting all Black businesses, but then it's also a form of preservation of such businesses. Another thing that I was thinking of in terms of like being more present is First Fridays is not, yes. So First Fridays on the block happens every first Friday with Noir Collective, Leaf Global, The Foundry. So like for us to kind of show up in those spaces would be good. The next one is going to be May 4th. And they're really growing. So there's really a large population, especially of Black people, that's coming to those events. So that's First Friday where we could really be intentional with showing up and just engaging with community. But that's the form of being more visible and just getting the word out of the African American Heritage Commission. Another visibility strategy also is any one of us here representing on the Block Collective? I don't know if that's you, Ms. Catherine Mitchell, or Chair Griffin, but we should have representation on the Block Collective, because again, that's just a form of preservation, but making sure that the Black history is served for the Block. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Mitchell?
I am not aware that I am a member of that group, although I'm very interested in becoming a member.
Yeah, and I'm not aware of it either as well. And I'm interested in becoming a member as well. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Jones.
I know we've been working. I'm not sure. You have to double check with the individuals on the Block Collaborative, but it may just be those businesses that are actually on the block right now. So I know like the YMI, Stephanie Twitty's, Eagle Market Street Collaborative, Penny Cup. So I think the Block Collaborative may be limited or restricted to those businesses that actually are on the block. That's what I think, but it don't. But I think it is just those individuals or those residents that's on the block itself, not to the community at large. But don't quote me on that. But I think that's what makes up the Block Collaborative. just for clarification.
Yeah, just looking back at my notes, I found it was to advise the Asheville City Council and Buncombe County Board of Commissioners on issues concerning the enhancement of economic, social, culture, and recreational lives of African Americans in Asheville and throughout Buncombe County.
Thank you for that. And so if you could share that with me, and then we can get that put into a draft document. Also to add to the conversation about the Block Collaborative, I think that you are correct, Leonard. I will say that I've had a conversation with an individual. I will not name their name because they have not come forward yet, but they're interested in joining the African American Heritage Commission. So we're probably going to see an application come through from someone that is a part of the Block Collaborative.
Thank you for the clarification too. Well, the correction on collaborative and not collective. Another thing that I was thinking of too, is the downtown after 5 is getting ready to start. And so like, we definitely want to have some type of presence there, even if it's just maybe a couple of minutes, 2 minutes on the mic, but, just being present during those times would be really good. But I think before we start to get really more visible, we really want to redefine and define who we are and what we're going to stand for, and those initiatives that we're bringing and the initiatives that we want to support. The last thing I want to say is coming down the pipeline through the reparations community engagement, there's going to be a youth summit that's going to take place. It's in the planning stages right now, but I think this is a vital time where someone that's not necessarily on the commission, the reparations commission, but from this commission could like take a step in, you know, in the beginning stages, like on the front end with planning. But I can share more. We'll share more as we go along.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Yeah, Tiffany, I would definitely like to be a part of and who you say is putting together the youth conference?
The Reparations Commission Community Engagement Team. So that point person over that would be Dewana Little.
Okay, I would definitely like to be involved.
So I could definitely.
My question was, has it been confirmed? Because I know that there was just one, was it through United Way that was held at AB Tech? So I know that there's conversations around it. I don't know if it's been confirmed. So,
Right.
yeah, I just don't know. So I'm not saying that it hasn't been, but I'm just not sure. But there is a meeting this evening for the Community Engagement Committee through reparations. And I think that that's something that needs to be brought up. So if it is happening, we can start sharing that out as well.
Thank
This
you.
is Tiffany again. Thank you for bringing up United Ways, Salah. So is there anyone here who is interested in just joining the United for Youth leadership team as an African American Heritage Commission person? I mean, you don't have to answer now, but just think about it, because that is another great avenue to like engage with youth decision making around, especially pertaining to Black youth in Asheville. But having our voice at that table would be good. I do sit on it, but it would be great to have someone else from this commission on there.
Thank you. Any more? No? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Is future agenda items. Any suggestions? Yes.
Well, you know, we have not had the conversation about 2 events that's been somewhat of a legacy with Asheville, and just conversation around Juneteenth. There's different projects happening from the grassroots level to Black Wall Street. So I think we should really put that on our agenda as far as what are the plans for Juneteenth? Do we support any initiatives? Or do we just help, get the word out, bring people together? But how are we gonna show up for Juneteenth and then also Goombay? So what are the efforts and how do we support the YMI around Goombay? And I know that point person for Goombay is Alexandria Revenal with Noir Collective.
Ms. Mitchell? I'm sorry, which one? I didn't catch. Ms. Merritt or
Well,
Ms.
okay. The Black Heritage Trail Group will be initiating Black art at each of the sites, marker sites. And we will be looking for, as I said, Black artists to create a representative piece of art that will go alongside that trail. Secondly, I'd like you to take that up as an agenda item. And secondly, we are starting the initial planning for the Black Heritage Museum at Stevens Lee. And we will be looking for participants and partners in that effort as well. So those two things I think are important to the commission entering collaborative agreements and or partnerships.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Merritt?
Thank you, Salamanaya Merritt. As I'm listening to all the great ideas that are coming up and the events that are coming up, I think it would behoove this group to develop a list of sorts, right? To start prioritizing. I know I probably shouldn't use that word, but start looking at where you want to put your energy, right? And so, because there's so much out there, and not to say that it can't be done, but I think that we need to start developing a plan of implementation of how we're going to go about this, so that you're not missing. I'm going to go back to what Commissioner Hayes said about being able to attend and support both events for the engagement, the Jamboree, as well as the county. I'm wondering if you all are able to have a tent, right? Or a table at the Jamboree, and maybe it's manning it and it's in shifts where you all are able to, to speak to people and let them know what you're doing as a commission. It maybe also be an opportunity to talk about, to speak to individuals about becoming a part of this commission. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yes.
Speaking in regards to the table or the tent, does the commission have any owned assets as far as being able to market or brand itself? As far as if we want to support a festival, do we have a banner that we can put out there as well? Or anything that's uniform that would make our presence visually felt? Because outside of that, if we show up at random meetings and let's say it's a few hundred people, at the reparations meeting, how do we stand out as opposed to blending into the crowd?
Right. Very, very good. Yes, Ms. Merritt.
So I can check to see what budget you all have. Do you all remember if you had some type of budget?
Yes.
10,000.
10,000.
Okay, that's what popped in my head, but I wasn't sure. Okay, and did you have it? Earmarked for anything?
Not
No.
yet.
Okay, so we can definitely take a look at that, and you all can discuss how you want to earmark that money moving forward when it comes to branding and marketing.
Mr. Hayes, thank you.
Yes. So we had this conversation before about us branding and marketing, and we were told that we weren't allowed to brand the African American Heritage Commission. No logo, no branding, So how do we get, how do we get the t-shirts made so we all look in uniform and, our presence is felt and known and it's seen. And if we do brand it, I don't care if it's like, I don't care what it is, but we need, if we have to get permission to get the branding and start that, we need to like find out about that as soon as possible. Like find out the realistic, approach to how do we get stuff that we can, because we got the postcards, we got the pictures done, but now the commission has changed, so we have to restart that. But a logo or something to make us stand out so people will see us when we go out. We can all get the same color shirt or whatever, but when we set up the tent, we want to have our, the brand showing, we want people to know that we exist in the most powerful way and most impactful way that we can do that. So, we need to find out what's the stipulations on us branding the African American Heritage Commission.
And it was also social media we weren't able to do that too. So it's like we have our hands tied behind our back. So, because a lot of people, everybody's doing social media, but we were told that we couldn't go that route as well. So, yes, Ms. Merritt first, and then Ms. Mitchell after that, and then Ms. Merritt first.
Thank you. So I will, Commissioner Hayes, I will definitely look into the branding piece and confirm or deny what you've just shared, and then see how we can move forward. And it may be that it's the name, the African American Heritage Commission, and it's the city logo because it is a city commission. I'm not sure if it's city and county, but I will look into that and get back to you all as soon as I can. And Sarah, I know that you're behind the scenes, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of that, and can provide any insight. Excuse me.
Yeah, and actually, I am not. So I think we can both talk to maybe legal. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's circle back together.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I agree with Michael. Even if we end up simply stating that the commission is a part of city county government, but then say who we are in addition to that statement. And I think that would sort of deal with the parameters that we were not able to adopt if we say, okay, we are an agency of the city county.
Yeah. Thank you. Ms. Debolo? Oh, Mr. McAfee. Ms. Debolo?
Mr. McAfee is muted.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. My question was answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Debolo?
Tiffany here again. So two things. One, the reparations has the logo, although it is city and county, through the city and county. Another thing is I propose that we also create a committee, an engagement committee, so that we can still continue to move. We can narrow down our efforts, but we also won't have, we're not just waiting on one person or two people to push us forward, but there's a small committee of interested individuals that can we can have deeper conversations and then bring it back to this full commission. So I don't know if we have to take a vote on that, or if we could create an ad hoc kind of group or committee, but it would behoove us to go ahead and establish an engagement committee so that those priorities could be, named. Oh, and the last thing is going back to Ms. Mitchell and the African American Heritage Trail. I'm just wondering if we also can host something maybe at the YMI, but host something small and intimate but in honor of the Heritage Trail, because that was a lot of work. And there were several commissioners from this group that was integral in just seeing it all the way through. And shout out to Commissioner Mitchell and Chair Griffin. Like, kudos to you for seeing that through. But we definitely, I see the emails, but it's not in community enough. So if we hosted something that was just like, a nice night where we have some spoken word, but we highlight the process and where we are, that would be super cool. And I'm talking not necessarily now, but maybe in a few months to come.
I love it.
We got 10 stacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got 10 stacks. We need to, and the whole idea of that, Tiffany, the way I'm looking at it, that's the way of getting us out in the community, branding, marketing, all that good stuff, and getting people involved with what we're trying to do. Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. Ms. Mitchell, with the culture trail, there's something happening between the 3rd and the 5th. I won't be here, but I got an email. Do you know more about that between the 3rd and 5th of May?
Well, we are hosting 10 African-American journalists from around the country. And the idea is to get the word out around the country that the trail exists, and we welcome visitors, particularly Black groups.
Absolutely. Thank you. This is good. Any more comments, questions? No? All right. So our next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday. That's not right. I'm sorry, Ms. Devilo, go ahead. Let me get.
Well, just coming back to, can we identify what our next steps are?
Our next steps, well, Ms. Merritt and I, we're gonna work on some things as far as getting the outline. And then it's really we need to sort of jot down some ideas and bring this stuff to the next meeting so we can talk about this, so we can get things in motion. Anyone else? Mr. Hayes, you had your hands raised?
Commissioner Hayes here. The whole idea of an engagement committee is so that we can start engaging and coming up with, meet and greet and the process of us building our brand. I think that should be like number one on the agenda.
Yeah.
So I don't know, we have to wait till next meeting to discuss that. Not sure what the process is.
Yes, Ms. Merritt.
So 2 things, correction on the next meeting date. I'm just providing that to you, June 13th.
Yes.
And then with regards to, I would suggest and open the floor to you all that there be homework, that there are things that you do outside of this meeting, because now your meetings are every other month.
Yes.
Right. And so that's a long time to wait to do things. So as we talked about developing that list of events or things that are taking place that you want to be a part of, right? I can look at the budget, recreating or updating what your charge is. So there's a couple of things that need to take place in between that meeting and this meeting, right? I am not sure if you all are able to meet unless it's a special called meeting, right? It's a special called meeting to discuss something specifically, which I think that's something that we could do. We're doing it with the reparations, but we just need to make sure that it's noticed. If you all want to have a special call meeting, Sarah's giving me the the thumbs up. So if you feel like there needs to be a special call meeting, we just need to come up with a date of that. And we need to come up with what you're going to be discussing. I think as we go through for each of the meetings, we need to be intentional about what we're going to be doing. And I think there needs to be steps of us moving forward, right? That forward trajectory. So how do we create that? And that's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Okay. We're meeting again June 13th. During that time, there are events and there are places that we can be that will have already have happened. Number one, I think it's imperative that we discuss April the 27th and our presence at these events April 27th. So I think we need to have an emergency meeting next week, because the 27th is coming up week after next. And yeah, we need to start. I mean, I know we have a certain time with these meetings, man. I mean, I understand that we need to have things in order because everything is done in decency and order. But as we look at doing this homework, we need to be mindful that there's a sense of urgency right now. I don't think us sitting back waiting until June the 13th to make something happen, I don't think that that's going to bode well for us and our connection to the community.
Yeah.
And I hope you all can agree that if we can start meeting, we meet next week, then let's meet next week.
Absolutely.
So, I saw his hand go up. And I would love to hear what he has to say.
So my thoughts come about that we're fast approaching spring break. And I would like for this commission to try to figure out some way to be more impactful with our young people as they spend 2.5, 3 months out of school while they're failing in school when school is in place. So our young people don't have the luxury of putting the books down and not thinking about school for 2 or 3 months. I don't know if we can provide books, chess club. I don't know what we can do to be more impactful, but somehow we have to get into the space of the people that we keep talking about. We really need to figure out a way to connect, because there is an absolute disconnect right now, and we all know it. How do we connect? What do we need to do to get the community to show up one more time after being bamboozled for so long, after being lied to for so long? So I understand that they feel that way. And I don't even know if we can talk about the political climate that's coming up with the election in November. But can we sit back and every time I go into community, I hear our people talk about how voting is unnecessary. The ones that need it the most don't seem to want to participate. Can we make them somehow, with our information, with us being in the space, can we somehow turn some of this attitude about not voting? And if they are politically inclined by any stretch of the imagination, we also have our young people talking about not wanting to support Joe Biden. And that is detrimental to all of our health. Because if another man gets into that seat come November, what we're talking about right here won't matter. It's a threat to us, to our young people, and to people who have not even been born yet. And I don't know that we can sit back and be passive and hope that everything works out. I'd like to be intentional. I don't know how to do that.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. McAfee, I'm going to say, I'm sure that you can talk about voting, but when you start bringing candidates in, you can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to note that.
Okay.
So I definitely hear what you are saying. I'm looking at my calendar and my availability for next week, if you all feel that you need to have another meeting, Thursday, April 18th. The only time that I have available to be here is from 3:30 to 5 to be able to hold a meeting. And I'm not sure if that works for everyone else.
It'll work for me.
That works for me as well. In fact, I will make that move that we give whatever notice is required in order to have that meeting next week.
So a motion on the floor to move for the April 18th meeting, special call meeting.
Yes. And Aaron Griffin, I second the motion.
And then you all need to do a roll call vote.
Tiffany Debolo,
I agree.
Michael Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner McAfee,
Yes.
Commissioner Janine,
Yes.
I think that's everyone.
that's everyone then. Okay.
So the motion passes. Okay. So I'll begin to work on that. Now we need to figure out what is going to be on the agenda and what you all need to do in preparation of that meeting.
Ms. Debolo, are you?
Well, I guess it could fall in line with the meeting, but I was just thinking in terms of just starting an email with instead of a reply all for the legal part, just reply, but just forming the engagement group or committee. But I think we can also, since we meet next week, it can fall during that time as well. But
When you say, because from what I understood from the past, we weren't able to do that unless it come from the city. Is that not true?
Right. So you're asking that I reach out to our legal department? Is that what you're?
I guess we can, yes. From my experience, though, as long as we didn't have a quorum, we could create a committee. Okay.
Sarah?
Yes, I can speak to that. Yeah, so as long as you have less than a quorum, then you're able to meet, discuss, whatever works best for y'all. Anytime that we have more than a quorum, that's when we have the official meeting that needs to be properly noticed, live stream, and have staff available. So if you have less than a quorum, there's a lot more flexibility to meet and discuss. And that also applies, to get to Tiffany's point, maybe to electronic emails as well. Mm-hmm. So no deliberation via emails.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hayes?
So we asked what's going to be on the agenda. Hopefully we'll have an answer about branding and marketing. The engagement committee. I think we should really discuss what our roles will be with the events coming up on the 27th and anything prior to the 27th or after the 27th, that's before June 13th. So I think it's important that we get the listing of events and meetings and things that are happening. And yeah, I think those are the most important things. In my opinion, those are the most important things that we need to discuss.
Very good. Any more suggestions?
I'm sorry, how many are supposed to be on this committee and what are our numbers now?
It's supposed to be 9. So, and
vacant seats do not count towards your quorum. So those won't be held against you.
Mm-hmm. And there's currently 6, Mr. McAfee, to answer your question.
So that would facilitate a quorum right there with it if all 6 were present.
Mhm. If 5 were present, if I am
Oh, that's
correct.
right, 5, right. Okay.
So typically it's 4. Yeah. Miss Mary, do you know where we are with the appointed commission?
So your recommendation, that has to go before, I think it goes before council next, go ahead, Sarah. I think it's next month.
Me again. So, yes, the boards and commissions council committee did receive your recommendation and they passed along your recommendation, or I'm sorry, I should say, approved your recommendation. The committee made the recommendation for Alfred Green as well. However, council did not meet on Tuesday the 9th. That meeting was canceled. So those appointments are going to be made. I believe it's the first May meeting, which is maybe May 13th, when council will vote. So the committee has made your recommendation for Alfred Green. So ideally, likely will be appointed in May.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I should continue to add, I believe that there's another city vacancy, which it's currently posted on the website now. So please share with your networks.
Okay, so if I can just go back over the agenda, branding and marketing, the engagement roles for the 27th, and the list of events for the list of upcoming events. Is there anything that I missed?
To the engagement committee.
The engagement committee. And then the roles for the event.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Sounds good.
So I will get this noticed and get the agenda updated and send you all a new a link to the meeting for next week. And that will take from 3:30 to 5.
Sounds good. Ms. Debelo?
I just want to encourage everyone to please reply or respond to our emails. Well, not because I don't really send anything, but we want to still continue to be engaged when we receive emails. It just seems like sometimes we don't get enough response and reply, but that's helpful too. So just encouraging everyone to do that.
Thank you. So thank you guys. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 13, 2024, and it will remain virtual. Check on the city's engagement hub for, excuse me. Sorry. Yes, Ms. Devilo.
I just wanted to clarify, going back to Commissioner Mitchell's, the Cultural Heritage Trail, if maybe we can put that on the agenda to have discussion, because I'm not sure, I know you mentioned a May date, but just to have some more discussion around what we could possibly do and some action around that.
Thank you.
And maybe that's on that list as well.
Yeah.
Yes, put that on the list.
So if you all could send me via email the events that you know about, I can begin to work on creating that list for you.
Would anyone be willing to say now who will start that email so we know?
You.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, Tiffany, I mean, you got your ear to the street, you know what I mean? So we need that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. Any more comments? Okay. Next regular meeting is scheduled for is that next week won't be a regular meeting? Okay, so next scheduled meeting is for Thursday, June 13th, 2024. And it remains virtual. And check on the city's engagement hub for more directions on how to participate. I will adjourn this meeting unless there's any objections. Yes.
Public comment? I'll usually wait, to see if there's any public comment or input.
I am
Yes.
double checking the speaker queue. One moment. We do not have any speakers in the queue right now.
Well, thank you. All right.
Welcome new members. Welcome new commissioners.
Absolutely.
It's great to have you all with us.
So adjourned.
Get her done.